May 6, 1937. A crowd stood waiting at Lakehurst Airfield, New Jersey, eyes fixed on the overcast sky. Above them, a massive white shape hovered, majestic, serene, awe-inspiring. It was the Hindenburg, the largest airship ever built, the pride of Nazi Germany's engineering might. But within minutes, it would become a blazing inferno. And its tragic end, captured on camera and broadcast live, would haunt humanity for nearly a century. This is the story of the Hindenburg disaster. The Hindenburg, designated LZT-129, stretched 245 meters long, towering like a 15-story building. Built in Germany in 1936, it was a symbol of technical brilliance and futuristic ambition. It could carry close to 100 people, featuring a dining hall, sleeping cabins, salons, and even a smoking lounge, specially designed with an airlock and safety systems. Originally, it was meant to be filled with helium, a non-flammable gas, but due to political tensions, the United States, the only supplier of helium, refused to export it to Nazi Germany. So the engineers turned to hydrogen, lighter, cheaper, but highly flammable, a fatal compromise. On May 3, 1937, the Hindenburg lifted off from Frankfurt, Germany, carrying 36 passengers and 61 crew members, headed for America. On board, passengers lounged in luxury, chatting, dining, snapping photographs. Among them were businessmen, journalists, engineers, and first-time travelers crossing the Atlantic by air in just 3 days. But over in New Jersey, the weather turned grim. Rain poured, strong winds howled. The airship was forced to circle for hours, waiting for a safe landing window. Finally, around 7 p.m. on May 6th, the Hindenburg began its descent, ready to end its 3-day voyage in a dazzling landing. But no one knew it would end in tragedy. At 7:25 p.m., the Hindenburg floated about 60 meters above the ground. Hundreds stood below, watching. Some passengers stood by the exits, preparing to disembark. Then, a soft pop from the rear, and suddenly, boom! A flame burst forth, bright red, devouring the hull in seconds. In just 34 seconds, the mighty vessel turned into a roaring fireball. Desperate passengers leapt from the burning skeleton. Some survived by jumping in time. Others were consumed by the fire. Reporter Herbert Morrison, broadcasting live, screamed in disbelief, "Oh, the humanity!" His words became an everlasting echo of unspeakable horror. The Hindenburg disaster didn't just end an era. It left behind a painful lesson about pride, complacency, and the limits of technology. What if the U.S. had allowed helium exports? What if Germany had waited for safer alternatives? What if nationalism hadn't overruled caution? Perhaps 36 people wouldn't have burned alive in those 34 seconds. This tragedy serves as a bitter reminder. We may reach for the skis, but one mistake, one oversight, can bring us crashing down. In fire and ash, in the dim glow of museum lights, a model of the Hindenburg floats in stillness, frozen in time. Charred wreckage behind glass whispers silent warnings of human fallibility. In 1937, the world didn't just witness a crash, it saw the true cost of blind faith in progress, when safety and ethics fall behind ambition. Since that day, aviation changed forever, not just through better engineering, but through compassion and accountability. Technology can take us to the skies, but only humanity can keep us safe once we're there. That explosion didn't just destroy an airship, it lit a fire of awareness, reminding us of how fragile life truly is. And through that flame, a new chapter was born, not just of caution, but of hope. Today, when we look up at modern jets slicing through the clouds, let's remember, every breakthrough we enjoy was built on the memory of sacrifices past, like Hindenburg. A disaster, yes, but also a turning point for a wiser, more humane world. Many theories emerge to explain the blaze. The most common include static electricity. The ship passed through humid air, building up charge on its surface. Hydrogen leak. A ruptured gas cell allowed a hydrogen to escape and ignite. Flammable materials. The outer shell contained aluminum powder and iron oxide, like thermite. Sabotage. Some believed it was terrorism, but no evidence was ever found. No single cause was confirmed. But all clues pointed to one deadly factor: hydrogen, the flammable heart of the beast. The Hindenburg disaster became the first air tragedy to be captured so vividly on film and radio. The haunting footage of the ship collapsing in flames stunned the world. Public trust in airships, once hailed as the future of air travel, shattered overnight. Within days, commercial airship travel ceased entirely. Germany tried to revive interest, but the public had seen enough. They no longer wanted to witness a giant balloon floating above, fearing it might fall again. 36 lives were lost, 13 passengers, 22 crew, and 1 ground worker. Yet miraculously, 61 people survived. Some escaped by jumping just before impact. Others, unbelievably, were located near the front of the ship, where flames hadn't yet reached. One survivor, passenger Margaret Mather, recalled, "I saw the fire break out behind us. People screamed. I just ran. I didn't know what I was doing. Then I jumped." Captain Max Pruss, burned across his body, still tried to steer the ship down gently to save lives. And one brave engineer, knowing he couldn't escape, manually closed the hydrogen valves to slow the fire. He didn't survive. But thanks to his sacrifice, the death toll didn't climb higher.